Hello, welcome back to the Football Terrace. I'm Terry Flewers. Hit the like button, share button, retweet button for us. Timo Werner has come out and spoke about why, in his eyes, he was right to reject Liverpool and Manchester United and chose Chelsea as his next destination. Really interesting what it is that he had to say. It loops in massively with a big conversation we had on here maybe 6 or 7 weeks ago about Jadon Sancho and the package being right for the said individual. We're going to go through the comments. We are going to contrary that, though, with a little bit of balance. Words from Jurgen Klopp, who has responded to the notion that Liverpool were rejected. And then we're going to take your calls. We're going to open the phone lines up. The number's available now for you to call in on. Well, it's a number. It's not really a number. It's a StreamYard link. So you can call in right now and have your say on this. And it's a subject matter I'm really intrigued about. When these things happen to a rival, it's always your rival that got rejected. It wasn't the other way around. When it happens to your club, there's always a reason as to why you pulled out. In this particular incident, what do we think it is? We're going to delve into that now with a little bit more detail. Do me that big favor as ever. Hit the like buttons and hit the share buttons. And let's go take a look at what Timo Werner has said. You can see the comments here from Timo Werner in relation, Timo Werner speaks out on rejecting Man United and Liverpool to join Chelsea. That is the headline surrounding this situation. He says, I agreed to join Chelsea a few weeks ago. He said the whole thing was quite unproblematic because I had a lot of time to think about it before the coronavirus period. Now, that's really interesting, first and foremost. He's talking about, in his mind, this was all going on well before the corona situation. So, a lot of people have spoke about how Chelsea get their signings done really quickly. Well, clearly they don't. He didn't sign until near the end of May, but they were talking to him before the coronavirus period. Minimum time there is 2 to 3 months. And everyone's talking like that transfer happened quickly. He says it's no secret that there were several offers, but when asked about the interest from Liverpool and Man United, Werner said it could have been. There were some top clubs who fought for me, but the entire Chelsea package was the best for me, my game, and my career. And I think it's so important to focus on a few elements in there. One, this wasn't a deal that was done in 2 weeks. Chelsea didn't appear out of nowhere in the 11th hour like the Scarlet Pimpernel. They were there all along. Man United and Liverpool, according to Werner, were both rejected. Liverpool is the biggest one because, of course, he spoke publicly about wanting to beat them. According to Werner, they all made an offer. They all tried to sign him. But for him, the best option was, of course, in his eyes, Chelsea. Now, we move on to what Jurgen Klopp had to say. Jurgen Klopp said, all clubs are losing money. How do I discuss with the players about things like their salary waivers and, on the other hand, buy a player for 50 to 60 million? We'd have to explain. If you want to take it seriously and run a normal business, you depend on income. He says, we have no idea how much the club will earn, especially because we don't know when we'll start playing in front of spectators again. At the moment, without spectators, we have to pay back on season tickets and probably sell none next year. At least maybe the first 10 to 15 games, VIP areas won't be packed and tickets won't be sold. Essentially saying I cannot justify signing a football player at all because of the CV-19 pandemic. And do you know what? I completely understand why Klopp would say this. Makes complete and utter sense. However, it doesn't tally or correlate with what Werner has said. And this is where it comes down to who are you trusting and who do you believe? Were Liverpool and Man United rejected? Or Jurgen Klopp, we don't want to spend money. Now, if Jurgen Klopp does spend more than £50 million now this summer, then what are you going to believe? If they end up spending that money, then what? It's a real big conundrum. I want your views. I want your opinions. We're going to jump into the calls right now to see what you're all thinking and feeling. First up on the show, we've got B-Man in the house. B-Man, what do you make of this story from Werner? Do you think, honestly, that the likes of Man United and Chelsea were rejected? Or do you actually think that nobody bid for him and it was only Chelsea? What's your thoughts?
I think Liverpool were the front runners, but someone between the two parties is lying. Because Timo, remember, he came out and he publicly stated that he wanted to go to Liverpool. And we kept seeing these reports that Klopp was, he was very eager to go after him. My position, because we talked about this after the show yesterday with a couple of guys, my
Yeah.
position on this is that Klopp, let me remind the folks at home, Klopp came from when he was brought in at Borussia Dortmund. Many people don't know this. Dortmund were actually on the verge of non-existence. They were basically on the verge of being bankrupt. And him, and along with the sporting director, they turned it around at Dortmund. So my position is, if anyone is in any positions or has the ability to know what the club can and can't spend, it's Jurgen Klopp. And I refuse to acknowledge that he would go after a player that he knew very well he couldn't afford.
And that's where I agree with you. I'm looking at this now and thinking to myself, I don't believe Jurgen Klopp. I understand exactly what he's doing. He's mitigating the situation by telling people we didn't go in for him. But what reason has Werner got to lie? And the fact is that Chelsea didn't, according to Werner, Chelsea didn't come in for him in May, at the end of May, and sweep in and sweep him up his feet. Chelsea were talking to him as well before March, which means everybody was involved. I think what's happened here is Man United, my club as well, have tried to sign Werner. So have Liverpool. But there's a big difference between Liverpool and this is why it's not embarrassing if you're just honest. The difference between Liverpool, Man United, and Chelsea is that Liverpool and Man United both have better strikers than Timo Werner. Martial is better, in my opinion. I wouldn't swap the two. I'd be happy with him, but I think Martial has proven himself now. I wasn't sure a few months ago, but he's come back now, and you know what? I'm 100% behind it. Firmino doesn't score as many goals as Werner, but he's more important to the team. And I said this to Liverpool fans all them months ago. Why is Werner going to give up first-team football to be on the bench for you? And everybody, he'll play out left, or he'll play here, or be moved. No. The reason I think he said no to Liverpool is what he said in his comments there. Best of my game and career. He doesn't want to be a bit part player. You know, most Liverpool fans were like, oh, well, we've got the African Cup of Nations. He'll play then. I felt Werner was never going to pick it. Now, he hasn't rejected Liverpool because they're a trash club and Chelsea are better. It's because of his career. And people have to understand that first-team players want to be first-team players. And I think that's also why you won't see Sancho go to Chelsea and you won't see Sancho go to Liverpool unless a Mane or a Salah leave. I just think clubs need to be a bit more honest with their fans. And saying that we don't have any money, that's why we're not spending, they're going to end up looking stupid if they end up spending £50 million plus this summer. I really, really do. And with Man United, like, yes, Werner's a brilliant striker. But overall, how we want to play football in this fluid style, I know he can drift out left. I think it's a lot of money when you already have a player of Martial's level who I know, with the right service, will outscore Werner next season.
To play a little bit of devil's advocate here, I saw a report a couple of months ago before the coronavirus, and they're floating this around that perhaps they're bringing, because the concern around what I'm hearing from pundits all around is that front line from Liverpool, it's not good when your three best attacking players are aiding at the same time. So perhaps there was thinking that maybe they'll move Mane and then they can bring in a guy like a Timo Werner into the team. Well, that's what I think I heard. But at the same time, they still continue to pursue the player, according to reports and the rumors, even during this whole pandemic. And the question I would like to ask is that perhaps when I heard you read that statement, you can interpret it a different way. You can interpret it as if maybe Werner feels as if he was misled. Someone misled him. Because, Terry, when was the last time a player came out in public and said, I want to go here? And that didn't happen and he chose to go to another club.
Yeah, I'm listening. I honestly do. I think it's both all made the decision. I think it's more along the lines of, man, man wasn't guaranteed his first team football. At Chelsea, he is superior to Tammy Abraham. So unless he's playing badly, he knows he's going to play. B-Man, thank you very much for coming on. Next on the show, we have Matthew Lee coming in. Matthew, welcome to the channel. Who do you support? Matthew, are you there?
Chelsea.
Who do you support? Chelsea?
Yeah. Should be. Yeah, Chelsea.
Okay, so what do you make of Timo Werner's?
Hello.
Do you think he rejected? Can you hear me?
Hello?
Yes, can you hear me or not? All right, you're done. I literally, I can hear you, but you're not speaking back. Weird. Very weird. Next up on the show, we have Stephen. Stephen, what do you make of Timo Werner's comment? Did he reject Liverpool or did Liverpool reject him?
I think Liverpool thought the whole thing about Werner was about the whole thing of, can he fit in our front three? I think that's what Klopp was thinking. I was following the story for months, as you know, and I thought that we could get it over the line. But I think Klopp had thought this. The owners we've got a bit of in a mixed feeling here. We don't know if we're going to spend as much as we're going to think we are, and I think what I try to believe is if I believe Klopp will sign in one, but I thought Klopp made a decision to not go for Werner this year, maybe just because of the whole value, the whole situation with the money stuff this year. But I wouldn't believe for a second that we could have wanted to sign Werner, if I'm being honest. I do think he would have fit in our squad. I definitely would have thought that. But I think as a whole, I think it would have been hard to get into that team with the front three, if I'm being honest with you. I could see that from Werner's part. I could see why he wanted to join Chelsea, where he can guarantee game time on that striker role, and there's no one else to push him forward. So, I just think that he might have made the right decision, whether it was not joining Liverpool or joining Chelsea. But I thought it would have been the right decision for him to make his career there.
Yeah,
at Chelsea.
I agree a lot. I said this is the thing. When I said this before Werner signed, Liverpool fans called me salty. When I say it now, Chelsea fans call me salty. But my point remains the same. A player of Werner's quality, and he is top quality, was going to struggle to get into that Liverpool team because of how potent that front three were individually and as a collective. A lot of Liverpool fans spoke about playing Werner centrally and dropping Werner into the 10, but that doesn't make sense because you're disrupting a midfield that's also been brilliant. You're disrupting a system. And now we're looking at the Thiago situation coming in, and Thiago being a different type of midfielder. That would make sense because if they're going to nullify the wide areas, you need somebody better at passing centrally. So maybe there are options there. But for me, I just think this is the case of exactly what Timo Werner said. The overall package at Chelsea made just that little bit more sense to him. So it is a rejection for Man United and Liverpool, but it's based on the person progressing his career. And I think that's an important element to maintain. Stephen, thank you very much for coming on, mate. We're going to try Matthew Lee again. Now, Matthew, welcome back to the show. Can you hear us? No, his modem must be a potato. Listen, we're going to jump on to CFC Aqua. CFC Aqua, what's going on, my friend?
Not much, bro. Just chilling. I think.
What do you make? Yeah, what do you make of Timo Werner's comments?
I think Werner chose us for the whole package. I think at Liverpool, he's got to fight for his place. At United, I don't even know if United went in for him. Did United actually go in for him?
He hasn't. I think we did have a bit of a look. I think we did. Whether or not we fell a lot earlier in the conversations or not, I'm not too sure. But he's spoken about like big clubs are in for him in England. There was lots of big rumors that we were. But whether we did or we didn't, I think he said that big clubs did. Man United, he hasn't ever name dropped specifically as far as I'm aware. But either way, I think if you look at Man United and Liverpool, there's just the Martials and Firminos are much better than the Tammy Abrahams. So it's an easier inroad into a team. And that's why I don't understand why Chelsea fans would be upset by that and or Liverpool or Man United fans. It's very weird.
Well, I found I was watching an interview with him, I think it was like last week, and he said that another reason why he went to Chelsea was the London. You know, he wants to live in London. He's been to London a few times. I think he said he's been to London twice as a tourist. And he says he likes it there. And that's the thing with Tottenham, Arsenal, Chelsea. You have the London lifestyle as another reason to come.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. I think that's absolutely right. I think from my point of view, fans have just got to get over. Like, at least the point is, all clubs get rejected, and for numerous reasons. You've got and then it depends on what side of the fence you look at it. Because you could also argue that Liverpool rejected him. I'll come if you do first team football. Well, we can't guarantee you that. So it's what side of the fence you sit on. I think Jurgen Klopp's comments about not having any money, I just think they're a preemptive. It's a preemptive comment that if they then sign somebody, it's very easy to get out of as well. They'll just say, "Oh, we've now had more money and more income guaranteed to us than we thought we were going to have 2 months ago. That's why we're signing players." So it's a great excuse because CV19's given everybody that excuse. But then when you sign a player, you say, "Oh no, actually, we had more money come in than we thought from the TV company, so we now can spend." As opposed to when you're like, I think Liverpool wanted Timo Werner desperately, but he just chose a much different path.
I think the problem is Liverpool thought they were the only team that he was interested in, and they thought they could haggle the price down and not have to pay the full release clause. Chelsea came in, paid the release clause, and said, "You know what? We'll give you everything that Liverpool want to give you and more." And he said, "You know what? That's good." Liverpool still don't want to spend the 50 million or whatever it is to buy him, and he's gone to Chelsea instead.
What's interesting is how what also Werner said is that all these conversations with these respective Premier League clubs started before the lockdown. So that tells me that, again, the reason I think that needs to be focused on is, again, the misrepresentation in the media that Chelsea have got all this business done snap of their fingers. It's been a 3 month plus process to get this deal done, and everybody's acting like they did it inside 2 weeks. These things are very rarely like that. Ram, from your point of view, Liverpool, were they rejected?
In a way, yeah, they are. They were. Not in a bad way, just that he wasn't good enough to get in our first team. Which I don't
exactly.
Like the guy wants to be a fully fledged German international. There's so many good German strikers out there that are fighting to be the number 9 in the German national team. So it's understandable why he chose to pick Chelsea over Liverpool.
I couldn't agree more. David, we're just throwing you into the stream as well. We've got 2 or 3 minutes left on here. Like, you see this. I mean, do you take it as an insult as a Chelsea fan that he potentially only picked you because he gets more first-team football? Does that even bother you in the slightest?
No, because he's a good player.
yeah.
Literally, like we need a striker. No Chelsea fans going to sit here and say that Tammy Abraham's the true answer to our striking problems right now. So to get in a player like Timo Werner, I don't see why anyone's complaining.
Mate, and this is my view on this. I like going through this and then just coming to my own realizations, talking to fans. That's how I feel. I'm looking at it like it's about perfect moments. It's sometimes the perfect storm. Liverpool didn't desperately need another top-class striker. Why would you idealistically right now want to break up the front three that Liverpool have? Because I still think they've got another 2 or 3 years at the peak of their powers. Maybe in 18 months' time, you start looking at that. There's been no signs that they're slowing down, as an example. From Chelsea's point of view, they've got a slot open in the roster to fit in a Timo Werner. You look at, that's why, again, logic. And Liverpool fans, when I was saying this to them all those months ago around, well, where does he fit in? Who do you drop? They're acting like I'm being salty. I'm talking serious here. Like, if there's no room for you, why are you moving across? It don't make any sense. It's like same with Sancho. It's a perfect storm for Man United. Not only are we improving, but that right-hand side of the attack, until Mason Greenwood suddenly started killing it, but it's like there's a space in the Man United team for him. Where you look at Chelsea having just signed Ziyech, and then you get Chelsea fans trying, Ziyech can play 10. 90% of the games where the majority of his productivity has come from, he started on the right. Why are you going to buy someone that's so productive from the right and then move him centrally? That's dumb. Lampard isn't dumb. He isn't going to... Same as Werner. He can go on the left wing. He starts nearly every game centrally, 87%.
And Terry, when he's put on the left wing, he's useless. He doesn't do anything.
Yeah, exactly.
I've seen him against... It was against, what's it called? Freiburg. And I think they drew the game 1-1, and he was put on the left, and he's pretty non-existent.
Exactly. And you've got a comment here from Elite who says Liverpool needs squad depth, not first-team options. And that's another true fact. Liverpool were looking to add Werner as squad depth. But as I've said all the time, he's not a squad depth player.
He's too good for that.
And Chelsea, and this is the thing, like, it's not about so much like, yes, it's a rejection, but I always feel like there's soft rejections and hard rejections. Does that make sense? There's almost an element of Man United are putting a bid for you. They're the only club that are putting a bid for you. Big contract. Do you want to go? No. That's a hard rejection, right? When you just told no. There's 6 clubs in for you. They've all offered you relatively the same salary. These 3, you're going to be part of the first team squad, a bit of rotation, start some games on the bench. These 2 are going to make you a first team regular. This one, you're going to be their main guy, barring form. You know, they're all big, prestigious clubs. Oh, I'm going to go for the one that wants to give me the first team options. The others haven't necessarily been rejected. Their package was just better. Do you get where I'm coming from? And I think that's what people have to look at. I look at the Haaland situation. He rejected you. Yeah, he rejected the fact that we wouldn't put a £50 million buyout clause into his contract. Am I bothered by that? No. You get like, oh, you're Werner, Dortmund are better than you. I ask you this question as Chelsea and Liverpool fans. Would you ever want to be Dortmund? Ever?
No.
Not how they play, but would you ever want to have their business model and run your
club?
No. Yeah, exactly. I've had this for other Arsenal fans. Oh, but they're better than you on the field of play. Yes, for a couple of years, and they end up selling everyone. They start again. Imagine you do that as Chelsea. You buy all these players you're after. You just start to look good, and then you sell them all. Who wants to be Dortmund? But there we go. That's my view on it anyway. But hang on a minute. We're gonna add the delights. Elite opinions. Final say from you. Were Liverpool rejected? Were Man United rejected? Or is Timo Werner making things up?
First of all, hello, gentlemen. It's been a long time.
Very long time, my friend.
Yeah. With the case of Timo Werner, I warned the guy about his career, where he's gonna go. I told him not to go to Chelsea. He didn't listen. He's just gonna become another bum there. Poor. He could have gone to a Bayern or Liverpool and made his career further. But it is what it is. It's just another German.
Just to say, at Bayern, he wouldn't have made his career further because
Lewandowski's 30-something, 34, 35.
But the kind of player that Lewandowski is, he can play until he's like 34 because he's that intelligent and he's that.
I mean, he is probably his career won't last another 5 years. Timo Werner knows himself. He went Bayern now. He would easily get that starting place within a couple of years. I mean, if he's gonna just go to just another top 6 team like Chelsea, I feel sad for the guy. He's not gonna win trophies, is he now?
Boys, this is your fight, mate. Boys, this is your fight, not mine.
Whoa, hang on. Wait, don't you spot Tottenham?
Yeah. It's weird, isn't it?
Look. There's no need to attack my club. I'm just being subjective about another.
Aren't you guys 10th in the league right now?
I just handed out that.
Just to add salt to the wound, they're lower than Arsenal.
The last time Tottenham won a title.
I'm a Chelsea fan by a long stretch.
I had to go into hiding for a couple of days after that Bramwell game.
To suggest that Chelsea Football Club are not going to win trophies is stupid. Chelsea, since Abramovich has been there, have won trophy after trophy after trophy after trophy, and they are going to win trophies again. It's even like in the years where Chelsea are bad. Like you look at Conte's final season where they were awful. They won a trophy. And it's what I love about that. Look at Man United's bad reign as well. We've been awful for 7 years. But we've still won we've still won like 3 or 4 trophies. And could win a couple this year. Like, imagine that. Your team, Tottenham's greatest team in 40 years, right? Has won less trophies than Chelsea, Man United, and Arsenal's worst team in 40 years.
Elite, have you not seen that graphic when it's like trophies won since 2000 and like Chelsea and United got like lists of like endless trophies, and then there's a little Carabao Cup at the bottom with Spurs.
Bro, Wigan have won more relevant trophies than Tottenham in the last 20 years.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, with the case of the trophies, I know we're not blessed with trophies, but at least I've seen my club play some great football over the years. Look,
That's like your wife cheating and going, well, at least she looked like she was enjoying herself. What's that got to do with it,
you know what I don't understand about when I come to this podcast, yeah? The minute I talk, Tottenham gets mentioned immediately. I can't provide an opinion about something else.
Because you talk Tottenham up. And if
No, you can't say that. You can't say that. Because I don't say
You said Gio Lo Celso was better than Bruno Fernandes.
No. You can't say as if I talk about Tottenham as prime Barca or something. I just talk about my team deserving a bit more respect. I'm not gonna say they're gonna win the Champions League again and again, am I?
Yeah, but you talk about respect and then say that Chelsea, a team that for nearly 2 decades have been serial winners, are gonna win nothing again. And then you will get respect for your club. We didn't do this to for how do we had on last night? We don't do it to any other Tottenham fans that come on. It's you. When you don't give respect, thus you don't.
No, look, there are certain clubs in England that don't deserve respect. Just
like who?
Like who?
No, look, there are some clubs like, you know, you got your Chelsea, your Arsenals, your Liverpools. They don't deserve respect. They deserve the
Why? No.
Because for years I've seen them. For years I've seen teams like Liverpool.
You've seen them win. You've seen them win.
No, I've seen teams like Liverpool flounder around at 8th, 7th. We've consistently finished above them for the last decade.
Oh yeah, we won a trophy as well. We won a trophy.
And then the minute they win a trophy, it's like they don't stop going on and on. Like your team's not going to win another major trophy in the next couple of years. It's all 29-year-olds. The prime is now. So I don't understand why Liverpool are talking as if they're going to dominate Europe. They're not dominating at all.
Because of what you just said, bruv. They are in their prime.
Yeah, which is going to last what? This year? You already saw what's happening this year. They got knocked out every other competition.
So hang on. So in the Champions League, in the last 3 years, because they've got knocked out for the first time in 3 years before a final, suddenly that means they're over. They're at the peak of it. Look, Liverpool may not retain the title next year if they don't sign anybody this summer. I've said that. But that doesn't mean they're going to stop being a bad team. You know, this City team right now, if Pep stays and they can spend in the summer, they'll be back. If Pep doesn't stay or they don't sign, it'll be different. Like, it's a madness to suggest that these clubs that are serial winners in the modern day game are just going to be dead because of one bad year. And it's another reason why I'm not panicking about Liverpool winning the league. Tell you why. Football don't end this summer. This isn't like the end of The Sopranos, where you're like, or the end of Game of Thrones, where you're stressed about the ending because there's going to be no more. Football will just continue. And another thing that will just continue as well is Tottenham not winning trophies. That's why you're mad, bruv. Because that's like that. I read somewhere that it's written into the Magna Carta that Tottenham will never win major trophies in the UK anymore. Like, it's there. It's like enshrined in English folklore. You know.
I mean, when some clubs are just frauding FFP and spending millions and millions, we can't do anything about it, can we now?
Chelsea.
Well, what about Wigan? What about Wigan?
Listen,
my God, he's showing up. Swansea, Carabao Cup. Swansea have the same trophies as you.
On the stream, we're adding Elite KJ to it. What's going on?
Yo, Elite, I've missed you, bro. Where you been?
You know, it's actually my birthday today as well.
Oi, happy birthday. Oi,
He's finally 10. He's finally 10 years old. He's double digit.
He's officially allowed to be on the channel without telling his parents.
Bro, okay, I want your opinion on this actual story that we're here for. Were Liverpool / United rejected, or did they turn down Werner? What's your opinions?
No, they were rejected, but it's not that deep, because if a player don't want to come to you, they don't want to come to you. Like, it happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we don't want to come to you because you're too good, man.
Like, whatever reason it is, if your team is dead, if your team is too good, what you would rather have, a player that doesn't want to be there, or not, or a player that who wants to be there? You rather have a player who wants to be there. So
wait, Terry, I'm sorry. Yeah. Is this channel talking about did Timo Werner reject Liverpool?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
why
he was on their knees for them.
He changed his mind. So what? It happens in life.
He was on his knees for them because he didn't think anyone else wanted him.
Bro, I got down on the knee once in my life and asked somebody to marry me. I then divorced them. So you can change your mind in life. I got down on the knee myself before, and then I divorced them. Do you know what I mean? So this is what happens. So listen, like, you can change your mind in life. It's an interesting notion. But for me, I think it's a combination of two. I think there's an element of United and Liverpool saying, you're not going to walk into this first team, pal. And that's him then saying, well, I'm not going to come then. It depends on what side of the fence you see. You get it in politics all the time. Party A comes up with a new policy and Party B don't like it. Party B say you should change it by these 10 points to these 10 points. Party A go away and they change it. But instead of being congratulated for listening and being democratic, they're then attacked by the same party that disagreed in the first place, and they're called weak for changing their mind. And that's what football fans do in this circumstance. It's like, he's going to reject everyone because he loves us. Oh, no, we rejected him. Well, no, he said no to you. Yeah, no, we rejected him because we didn't give him first team football. Okay, Werner, you rejected them. It goes, well, no, I told them I'm only coming for first team football. And they said yes. So I said no to them. And then we said, at the end of the day, there's an element of truth on both sides. But KJ said it bang on. Why would you want a player at your club that don't want to be there? Equally, if you've got the choice between Chelsea and Liverpool, and there isn't a great deal of difference over the course of the next 10 years, there won't be. Do you want a team that wants you 100% and makes you in their starting lineup? Or do you want to take the risk of being on the bench for the first 18 months and maybe, going a bit stale? All these things have to go into consideration, but there we go. Listen, I appreciate you all coming on to the show, having your say. Do me a big favor, hit the like button, hit the share button, retweet button, and we'll chat to you all of them very, very soon. Take care.
Thanks for the comments and happy birthday, man.